Hello friends, the Gina K Designs May 2024 release is here and I'm especially excited about the new products in the shop. Let's take a look at how I used a few of them to create some fun birthday cards. One of the new products that I'm especially excited about are the Polyglaze products. And here I have the Smile, Sparkle, and Shine foiling sheets. They have sentiments on them like life is better with friends, happy birthday, smile, sparkle, and shine, as the set is called. And I am going to use Smile, Sparkle, and Shine because I love the font and I love the idea of using this sentiment to create a birthday card with some other products from the release. So I'm going to trim it out first and foremost. Next, I'm going to cut some deco foil. The color of this is called Enchanted Rose, and it is a beautiful pink color. So I'm using my Spellbinder scissors here. They're non-stick to cut that foil really easily. Now, before putting the foil on my polyglaze, I wiped it down with a Swiffer duster to make sure it was dust-free. And then I'm going to put the stack into a deco foil craft and carrier sheet from Thermoweb. I cut this in half so you can get a lot of life out of one package of these sheets. This just helps to protect whatever you're foiling when you're running it through your laminator. And here I'm using a Mink machine from Pink and Maine. The reveal is always my favorite part, and it is just gorgeous. Take a look. How sweet is that? It looks kind of rainbow on camera, but it's really a beautiful pink with a little bit of kind of rose gold. Next, I'm grabbing some Polyglaze white sheets and I'm going to add the negative foiled piece onto the Polyglaze sheet and put that back in my carrier, then run it through the laminator. This one is definitely going to have that wow factor because it has so much of the foiled background on it. Look at that. How fun is that? To cut out these sentiments, I'm using the oval from Master Layouts 9. I think it's the perfect shape for this sentiment. So first I'm going to cut the white sentiment with the foiled lettering. I'm using mint tape here to hold it in place and a magic mat. Both of these are from scrapbook.com and they're exclusive scrapbook.com products. I just think this oval is the perfect shape. I thought about a rectangle and oval definitely won. And I realized that I don't use a lot of ovals in my card making, so I wanted to change that. Look how pretty that is. Okay, next we're going to do the same thing with the foiled background sentiment. For this one, you want to make sure that your tape does not touch the inside of the oval. Because whatever the tape is on, it will pull up that foil. So my tape is only resting on the die and then on the outside of where it's cutting. So you can see that there, it's only touching the die, but not on the inside of the die. So I'm running this through, and then I can just pop that out easily, and that tape has not touched it. Next, I'm grabbing the adorable Cupcake Party stamp and die set, and I'm going to stamp the cupcake liner first using Bubblegum Pink ink by Gina K Designs. I have a pink thing going here, and I'm planning on making some cards for my daughter's friends for when they turn 12. I know these birthdays are coming, so it's better to just go ahead and have these cards in my stash. Next, we're going to grab the cupcake icing part, and I want that to look kind of like a vanilla icing. So I'm going to use Lemon Drop. It's a lighter yellow, and so I thought that this would be appropriate for kind of a lemony icing or a vanilla icing, and it looks great. Since I know that all of her friends are going to be turning 12, I am going to stamp 12 using the cute numbers at the top. Now, these are great because you can make them into candles, so like the number candles that you would put on a cake, or you could make them into balloons. And so for this card, we're going to make them candles. And I'm using Passionate Pink here a few times to get a really nice dark pink color. Going back again to the stamp set, since I want these to be candles, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the flame attached to the number. Now you can stamp these separately, die cut them out separately, and adhere them together, but I just decided to go ahead and stamp the candle flame on top of the number. So I'm using Sweet Mango here for the orange portion, and you can see that I'm just inking up that bottom tip in Sweet Mango. Then I'm going to wipe that off and then grab Wild Dandelion, ink that up again, and stamp over that 2 times. So I'm going to do the same thing for the number 1 candle, but I didn't want to move my stamp, so I'm moving my paper instead. And then I'll just use Sweet Mango at the very bottom, and then Wild Dandelion at the top. Now this means I can't die cut out those numbers, but I'm just going to fussy cut them out because they're super easy to fussy cut. So I'm die cutting out the cupcake shapes separately, and then I can adhere those together. And then I'm using my favorite fussy cutting scissors to cut around the numbers and the candle flame. Because my Smile, Sparkle, and Shine sentiment is on white cardstock and this polyglaze blends so beautifully, I'm going to do a blend of Bubblegum Pink, Sweet Mango, and Wild Dandelion. So starting at the top in Bubblegum Pink, then I'll move to Sweet Mango to get kind of a diagonal line in the center. And I'll finish with Wild Dandelion at the bottom. And I really love the way this turned out. It looks so pretty. I cut an A2 size piece of Passionate Pink and then a white stitched rectangle from Master Layouts 2 in white. I'm going to layer these up so that I have a nice white background to add that colorful oval to. It's not something I do very often as a horizontal card, but I thought it fit really well with the cupcake and the oval together. I want my sentiment to stand out, so I'm going to use foam tape from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L to give that some lift on the card front. Next, I'm going to assemble my cupcake by adding a little bit of tape adhesive to that icing part and putting it on the cupcake liner. And then I'm going to put it right next to the oval so that they're overlapping slightly. And I like how the edges of the bottom of the cupcake and the bottom of the oval are hanging off of that white panel. Next, it's time for me to adhere my candles on, so I have foam tape at the top and I'm putting tape runner at the bottom where it overlaps the cupcake. I love adding small embellishments, so don't forget about those small embellishments on your stamp sets too. This little star is perfect for adding a little bit of sparkle around the card. So I'm going to stamp it in a few different colors, starting with Passionate Pink. So I'm just inking up the star, and I'm going to kind of choose 3 different areas to stamp up. Next, I grabbed Bubblegum Pink, and this is where things went wrong. My ink pad fell onto my oval. Now, it's really not that noticeable, but you can see just the slightest line from the edge of the ink pad. So I thought for a second that I should scrap the card, but This happens in every crafter's life. We all have these mistakes. So how was I going to fix it? Well, I decided that I was going to ink up with bubblegum pink and just do a little bit of ink blending down in that corner so that it looked like it faded a bit more to an orangey pink, right? So this helped to take away some of that harshness of the line. It didn't hide it completely, but it looks a bit better than it had. And after a few minutes, I decided to ink blend it even more. So I'm just masking off the white cardstock and just adding even more bubblegum pink there to kind of hide a little bit of those harsh lines. But remember, you can always add embellishments as well. So not as bad as when it first happened. Speaking of embellishments, these angel aura rhinestones are probably my new favorite embellishment for my card fronts. They are the most beautiful rhinestones. They're really tiny. They're easy to glue on because they're flat, perfectly flat on one side, and they have that kind of yellowy, pinkish hue to them, which is perfect for this card. So in my boo-boo area on my oval, I'm putting a few of those rhinestones there, and I'm putting a few around my stars as well. When in doubt, rhinestones, sequins, anything that you can use to cover an inking accident is always a great idea. This card is all about the sparkle and shine, and I love the way it turned out. It's perfect for any of those upcoming 12-year-old birthdays. Thanks so much for joining me as I created with the May 2024 release from Gina K Designs. I went ahead and used the other oval from the Smile, Sparkle, and Shine Polyglaze to create another card, this time a vertical card, and I used the numbers to make balloons on this one. I just love this release. I'm especially excited about the Polyglaze products and that Cupcake Party stamp and die set. It's great for any kind of celebration. Thanks so much for joining me. Be sure to check out the products that I used at the video description box below. And be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. Happy creating!